It's from T1.
Yeah, they've drafted themselves into this point. So, you still need to build up. This doesn't reveal too much. They take the Phoenix. That Phoenix we've been seeing a lot of teams go for is on Cignal's side. So they have the team fight potential coming out here. They've got the healing and sustain, as long as the blast that isn't on top of anyone. So you have that option. The lane of the Phoenix tends to go pretty good for the most part. The harassment it brings is pretty nice. So you do have that going for you here on Cignal. The team fight's looking pretty tied up. It's just that, well, the sustain is still going to be an issue. So Phoenix Sunray probably not going to be as great in this case, especially if the blast lands.
It's true. I think they just wanted to deny it off the side of T1, though in all fairness, T1 generally runs that POS 5 Phoenix, not the POS 4 very often. Does still come out at times, but usually they'll give Paulson another kind of fighting POS 4 that doesn't really rely on just spamming egg, but Skywrath Mage comes out now from T1. That one I wasn't expecting. I don't know what the point of the Skywrath is here. Cignal Ultra, they will go straight into the Legion Commander now, so denying that off for it, but now I see the reason why they may have wanted that Skywrath. The Skywrath LC combo would have been pretty deadly for the side of T1 to run. Did Cignal Ultra just choose that for the sake of not giving it to T1?
Honestly, I think that's the case. I don't think they wanted to necessarily pick it for themselves. It does, I mean, they can get the team a decent duel off and it's still great control. I mean, you still have this combo, right? Like, the Sky's there. Call into the Mystic Flare is still stupidly strong. So you've got that combination up, and I think even the Sky in this case, the silence is going to cause issues for that morph. So there's a lot of value here for T1. It's just shaping up to be a really strong, really aggressive draft.
Yeah, I do like it. Cignal Ultra, I'm kind of curious as to how they finish this draft off now. They do need a mid pickup here in that mid lane. For now, it does appear they will be up against the Ember mid. Though they could throw that Ember safe lane as well if they really want to. So it shouldn't be too hard for Cignal Ultra to try and pick up something that does well up against the Ember.
Radiant team.
We'll have to wait out one more ban, and surprisingly enough, they banned out the Monkey King, which would have been good against the Ember. And T1 banned out the Queen of Pain.
Yeah, the monkey one is a bit strange. I think when you have the Phoenix, you do actually like having the monkey, so them banning it out is less than ideal. I think actually Cignal would have liked that a bit more. Just to play into their wombo combo, so not having that option does kind of hurt. I don't think T1 was interested in that. As you mentioned, it does feel like it is still flexible with the Ember, although it doesn't quite strike me as a miracle hero. I think there are options available for him. Maybe the Spectre if they wanted to. They go with the Ursa. So that's still a highly aggressive pause 1. There's not too much to kite it around here. To be fair, like, it's just a Shaker you're worried about. So it should be a fairly easy time to run around. And I think the draft here from T1 is tied up nicely. It's aggressive from the get-go. You don't need to wait for any sort of farm build up here. Cignal, you kind of have a timer with a Morphling where it has to get that space, it has to find that early farm into whatever goes first, maybe the shotgun in this case, or just the right-click build for the Ags with a Shaker, but it takes time. And no matter what they pick in the end here, I think even if you play fast, you're constrained to the Echo and the Egg, whereas T1, once you have a Blink on the Axe, and even just an Urn on the Ember, you're active on the map.
Ultra, they need one last pick to finish this off. They need to finish it strong. You could go for something like a mid Pugna if you really want up against the Ursa. It does work decently with the Morphling. Whether it won't really beat out the Ember mid though, that's partially the problem with it.
No. Maybe some value in an OD here. If they did, no, they go with the Venomancer themselves. So that gives them some early aggression. Their team fight's looking pretty darn good, at least in the early game before BKBs fly out. Of course, my biggest issue with Venomancer, and I think we see this every time, is if you don't shut down in the early game, any team in the early game, BKBs fly out and Venomancer just stops being relevant. You know, the damage output is not there. The control he has is negligible, and it tapers off hard. So we'll see how much James he can get done down mid. That can be a bit of a hard time for the Ember in the first 3 levels, maybe even in the first 4 levels. But past that point, James he really has to find something early.
Very, very scary game for Cignal Ultra. We can all agree this is looking good for T1, but they have gone a bit left field with this draft as well. You're not used to seeing the Axe Skyrath Mage come out from T1, or any team for that matter. Bit hard to know how this is going to work. Of course, I know the combination's very, very strong. Whether they're actually going to make it work up against the draft of Cignal Ultra. But then again, like, up against the mid Veno, I don't. It just doesn't make me feel very confident.
Nah, I mean, that's always going to be a tough lane for IYD. I think you've got to accept that. But beyond that, I just don't know if Cignal can carry the mid game. See, it's like the laning phase is pretty decent. Like, we talked about the Shaker, we talked about the Phoenix. We know how much those 2 heroes can get done in the laning phase. I just worry about that momentum. Cignal kind of showed those issues there where Van was shut down, but couldn't get ahead enough to maximize his core, and the timing of the Morphling is sensitive as the Medusa. So you want to be up and running early in this case, and Cignal has to fix everything that happened in game 1. It's all about execution this time.
You're going to need a lot of execution. What is? Do you know what that means, John?
No, it looks like Filipino, sounds like Filipino, but I don't know what he means by baki so bitin. Like, bitin is like it's lacking, but I don't know what bakihan man. It's anime.
Dude,
I see.
I watched
what anime is that?
That's Baki.
Which one?
Netflix.
Baki on Netflix. I see. Okay. I don't know.
Terrible.
It's terrible. You should have replied. You should have told them it's terrible. See what happens to you. They'll end up fighting you in the caster seat.
Part 3 came out and just sucks. In all honesty, I was actually gonna freak this out the other day. It just sucks.
Well, you should tweet at Abad. He seems to be looking forward to it. Let him know about your thoughts. Yeah.
Oh, poor Abad. He doesn't know yet. Poor guy doesn't know how bad season 3 is. Oh well, we won't tell him. He'll find out the hard way. It's one of the only animes I actually watch. I'm sure you'd call that a casual anime, John, as well.
Well, I don't even know. No, Netflix has good choices. You make it sound like Netflix is bad. They tend to have good choices. Like Violet Evergarden is so good. I'm so glad they were the ones to distribute it. I got to watch it as it released, so that was nice. That's something you wouldn't watch. I'm sure you'd find that boring. Unless, did you?
Watch it.
I don't remember you actually watching it. There you go. Well, okay. Thank you. I'm vindicated.
I'd never admit on stream proudly that I've watched Violet Evergarden though. Like, you were just out there saying, "Hey guys, there's this great anime about a girl writing letters to people." It was not very action-packed, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, but it's a great journey, just like a Dota 2 game. It's a great test of your psyche, and we begin, Mike. It looks like it's going to be an even trade in runes. Miracle's really far forward, and he's copying a lot of damage from Jamesy. This not going to be nice for him. Going to have to eat through those early tangos fast.
Grims. Hagris dive away, Van. I'm going to get blocked here by Jocam. Takes a bit of harass on the way to the lane. Sure, Jocam will probably back off. Back down to the bot lane where he will be there to support Miracle on the Ursa. James, he's going to have to you know, worked pretty hard to make sure that Miracle doesn't have a good game this time around as well on this Ursa. We did have a bit of a bonus there, as I believe we did have Eris once again double blocking that wave for the dire side, which does give Jamesy a bit of a level advantage. But now with this double creep wave, of course they are going to push out towards Miracle's tier 1 tower, and he's going to get plenty of farm out of this.
Yeah, there's really not much you can expect, and Jamesy's just copying a lot. It takes a few levels for that Veno to really kick in. I'd say level 3 is when you're starting to see it really be nice, and well, you know, it'll just take a while. At least Eris is out of lane enough that Jamesy will find that.
Top lane as well, Forever's seemingly having a very nice time. Like, Forever goes for the creep skip here up against BLC. Van will be fine to farm underneath that tier 1 tower, but they won't be able to actually stop Forever from just getting every single creep kill by just skipping that wave. You can make the argument maybe Grims could try and stop it, but up against the Skywrath Mage, who's so powerful in the laning phase, even more so than the Phoenix, I don't think Grims can.
No, it's really tricky, and this should give Forever a lot more in this lane than he should be getting, but I don't know, it's tricky for Van. I think that's my one worry. We saw him start slow last time. He's going to be last sitting under his tower, which is alright, but he's really not going to be punishing Forev, and well, Forev with farm on the Axe does mean you'll probably see an early blink. And once you have the blink, well, really easy to get the blink Mystic Flare combo, although Paulson should be careful with the tower. He has 0 armor if he's gonna dive tier 2s.
Mid lane as well, the one thing we haven't talked about, it is the Morphling versus the Ember. The whole map for Miracle about to drop, and they do get it. They tried to go for the deny there with Jokam, but he wasn't able to get the attack out in time, and now Eris won't be willing to dive all the way for that kill. Jokam should be able to walk out, but Eris is trying to loop around. No, Jokam will salve up and be able to remain in the laning phase.
Dire's top tower is on.
Nice pick up there though. You kill off that Pos 1 Ursa. It's going to be a good feeling.
Definitely is. I think the one issue for T1 is, you know, every single time we've seen the Veno, we have always seen the Witch Doctor in response. This time you don't have that early laning sustain to counteract the DOT, so it just gets a bit harder for Miracle to continuously sustain himself from this damage.
Red gonna chase down Grims, but Grims does die, or not die, but dive. Does get away. Forever's still dominating this lane very nicely though. Like, look at this, he's just pulling 2 creep waves over the small camp.
Oh.
So much farm. Loaded right now.
Yeah, there is no stopping this Axe, and that's a very big worry. I don't think Miracle's early farm is going to be too important, but Forev's is. Again, that blink timing, or even just a fast Vanguard, takes away a lot of the potency of Cignal's draft. They're going to have a very hard time matching this Axe's output.
So end up going down. Miracle trying to go for the kill onto Jamesy. We'll be able to find it. He had the Earth Shock there to really just slow this Venomancer down. Mid lane at that, falling low as well. Paulson is just going out with this Morphling. You have a lot of magic burst there from Paulson, so you won't really want to risk trying to fight the Skywrath right now if you are a bat. Just go back into the lane yourself. So it's a bit concerning when your dream is finding a substantial amount of farm here without really being punished at all.
Yeah, this lane matchup is working out for him quite well. A bat, he's not slowing down IYD, he's not finding the best farm as well in comparison. And the Morphling's early farm, again, is a sensitive timing.
Bot lane, Jokam does end up dying once again. Oh, excuse me, getting the kill. James, he's the one to die. Now, Venomancer, that is the second death of the game for that Venom. They're obviously trying to apply that pressure onto the Ursa. It just hasn't been working out as well as they would have hoped. To make matters worse, Eris will miss out on a bounty rune, and that'll actually be 4 bounty runes going to the way of T1.
It's going to be, again, a nice little boon for them, and Grims just steps a bit too far.
Oh, Grims.
That's good.
What's he doing there?
I think he wanted to contest runes maybe, dove a bit too far, and you look at that. 4Ev at this point just goes up for calls, gets spins. He's so far ahead in this, 42-2. This is Axe at its freest, and there's just no solution to that.
Well, Miracle does go down bot lane again. Eris does pick off that kill. But I do agree that Forever's gotten way too much farm in this top lane.
I mean, he's at 6 minutes in. Van is as well. It's just that to get that duel successful, you need backup. For the Axe, he doesn't need anything. He just needs to run up.
He's bad. Ends up going down in the mid lane. In Your Dream does pick up the kill. Carlson was around to help set up, and they had that level 1 Ancient Seal, so the silence can be quite devastating to this Morphling. Of course, when you kind of combo that with the magic damage output of In Your Dream, it isn't too hard to imagine how the Morphling dies.
Yeah, it's relatively simple for T1, and they are starting to pull severely ahead. A 3k advantage now, 6.5 minutes in, and Cignal still needs to find a solution. They really sacked that top lane for Van. I mean, he's not doing as bad as game 1, but I think the biggest issue is that 4Ev is just going too deep.
James is gonna die. It was a nice Fisher attempt to try and stop Miracle from pushing him down, but well, now In Your Dream, just gonna remnant forward onto the high ground, trying to find Eris, and well, he will spot him out. He's underneath the T1 tower though, so you don't really want to risk going there, but now they're going to a bat instead. He does strength him off straight off the bat, Carlson holding on to that Ancient Seal, and he won't bother throwing it out onto the Morph in the end, but
Dire's
top lane
has been killed.
Forever to find Van's career. Now that he's surrounded, however, they will duel him up surely soon. Now,
Dire's top tower.
the Fisher is there. He's actually spinning quite a bit, but ultimately will end up going down. Van will pick up his first duel win of the game.
It's a good little pickup that does cost a lot of rotations in. So it frees up the mid, it frees up the bot lane. Miracle now is actually farming a lot better. He's died twice, but it's still more farm on this Ursa than you see on Abat, and that's going to cause issues. It just means his timing is going to be better. Even if you found that kill on 4Ev, I think this is his job. He's so far ahead that you have to commit all these heroes up top to find a space in the side lanes. Look at Jamesy. He's still stuck at 5 on that Venomancer from his own offlane. So Cignal need to slow down a bit. Maybe it's time to rotate the bot to the jungle, but he doesn't have the Morbid Mask up and running just yet.
James getting dived right now. Eris does save him with the Fisher. James, he just can't catch a break this game on that Venom. Jokam going to be around there on the AA as well. They really just want to keep dominating this top lane. Fred's going to have a very, very early blink up if this pulls up. Eris shows himself for a second and he's just going to get run down. He gets dunked on by Perez.
Yeah, you can't really be isolated like that anymore. I'd say top lane, just sack it. No need to show up. There's no farm to really be had anymore. Better off focusing elsewhere, and Van is getting dived. He has the purge off to get the slow, but Miracle is, again, on a runaway start. Down bot, just left alone to farm up.
It's a concern. At least for them, Abat is on top of the net worth board, and well, he was ahead of the Ursa. Now Miracle's pulled ahead on that Ursa instead. Mid lane, they do end up killing off Grim from the Phoenix. They're just finding pickoffs everywhere. It's not even close right now.
Are fortified.
They do extend the lead to 4k net worth for the side of Team 1. Forever rotating into that mid lane now. Franz is going to be down the ball. Ends up going down. They try to get Carlson, but no, they can't even get that. Now Van gets jumped on. He will purge off the chains, but he was doing his blocking. Forever survives to connect. Now James comes through with the poison over, he just gets blown up. They're still trying. Jewel is there on Jokam to win that one, but T1 is still willing to try and fight. Forever now falling lower, great Fisher up. That'll be a secondary kill for Van, and now maybe In Your Dream, yeah, the Echo. Capture that TP. And Van will find a double kill.
Middle tower is under attack.
is a bit of a mess up in that dire jungle. Ultimately though, favoring Cignal Ultra, once that Poison Nova flew out, it was just too much damage over time to deal with.
Yeah, T1 just getting a bit overconfident there and gets punished hard. They need to be careful about forcing fights like that, as Cignal does have damage output. You know, the Venomancer is still strong. We're still 10 minutes in. It's still really, really potent, and it's not like Forev is going for an early pipe here, so you're not going to be mitigating that damage anytime soon. You look at the bot, trying to clear out stacks, really aggressive far forward, but Forev should just be able to find the rest of it.
He should. Places the GG tree as soon as he picks it up as well. Now back comes back in, going for those bigger creeps, but here comes in your dream. This will give Forev his gold now to pick up that Blink Dagger. It's not so often you see the Blink Rush anymore, but I guess when you have the Skyrat mate with you, you want to just get that early Blink off to be able to get those calls off, to be able to just use that ultimate of the Skyrat. Be able to secure quick kills.
Yeah, it's all about that momentum here for T1. They don't want to give Cignal space. The Blink will enable them to really play much more aggressive. It's not like they haven't, but it allows them much more clear kills to come out, and you can already see them clumping up top. That's about 5 heroes in that general area. Although Miracle is going to leave, but should still be a secure T1, and they're probably going to go hunting. Smoke is out.
We're going to get that surprise Blink reveal.
Dire's
T1.
top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower has fallen.
T1 top does go down very easily to Inger's range. They obviously want to go after a bat on that Morphling, and I think they may have spotted him, but no. Running down bot, they could go after Jamesy on the Venom, but they're going to loop around into that dive jungle. Now, the call does come out. It's really that easy. No Ice Blast necessary, and now Grimm's may need to be very careful where he positions himself, but he will dive away. Still losing that mid Morphling, not going to feel good. In fact, you're not even done. In your dream, he does get the Phoenix. Grimm's does check caught out by that Ember, and they could try to move into that mid T1 tower if they want.
Dire's middle tower.
Yeah, nothing to stop them without that Phoenix up. It is harder to commit to the fight. You do have Eris and Van around, but they're being a bit cautious. There is a blink on Van. They have a way of gap closing, but again, T1 this early on are feeling a bit too ahead. Abbott is making distance though.
Green Jewel gonna come out on forever more people. They're trying to get the big man axe. They do commit the echo, they do secure the Jewel. The rest of T1 will back out. It's a nice kill there on Forever. Cignal now going to try for more. They don't get the chains off on BTS himself. In your dream, the line of people will be there, remnanting back out towards the west side of that T1.
Are fortified.
They're just willing to fight right now, Cignal. You might need to just continue focusing on getting a bat farm though.
Yeah, for sure. He's really not quite up and running yet. Does have 3 Wraith Bands and of course the Mord Mask for the jungle, but the Manta is going to help massively. Once that's up, you can at least purge off the silence, which is really what's ruining them, although... Yeah.
That's going to happen a lot.
It really will.
Yeah.
I don't think they should be... I don't think they should actually waste Jokam's Ice Blast there. It's pointless. They just melt. Maybe if you're up against the Morphling, maybe, but for anyone else, that's just an insta-kill. You might as well save the mana in case another engagement breaks out elsewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. Even with the Morphling, in most cases he's going to be Agimorph anyway if you get the call off in time. They're still trying to push in that mid tier 1 tower. James is going to be there to just put playboards down and defend. Van, going to be in the smoke right now, does have the blink up on the LC. Cignal. Assuming this T1 tower is going to be pushed in, but T1 seem to know what's going on and just waiting. And I think Cignal may have mistimed that a little bit. As the bounty runes did spawn up and they kind of just forgot about the bottom ones till now.
It's not quite the smoke that we're looking for. Would have been nice to keep isolating T1.
Radiant's
I mean,
bottom tower
you look at
is
T1,
under
they
attack.
are ahead by 5k, but Miracle is actually just saving for a Battle Fury, so it's a slower game for the Ursa. Gonna go for more farm, and the damage will be nice once it's up, but it's just
Radiant's bottom
very
tower
slow
is
build up
under
because of how aggressive T1's been.
Dire's middle
Would have been a
tower
good
is
point to
under attack.
punish. They're gonna have to settle with a tier 1 bot,
Radiant are
but
scattered.
now you can successfully trade for that T1
Radiant's
mid
bottom
for
tower
T1.
is under attack. Dire's middle tower has fallen.
T1 mid is much better anyway
Radiant's
for
bottom
T1. Like,
tower has
that
fallen.
bottom tower is not going to mean anything for this Radiant side.
Oh,
Signal,
they've-
let's take what they can get.
yeah, T1's hasn't played down bot for a while anyway. Now you've got the Hood of Defiance up on Forev. All that magic damage earlier on is not going to be as strong as you'd expect. Going straight into the pipe. You do have Miracle's
Radiant's bottom tower
Battle Fury
is
up.
under attack.
So his farm accelerates, his damage shoots up, and the bounties start flying out once more.
Why not? Always Eris. Forever, I'm not sure what he called for just then. I guess he tends to get more
Dire's
tower
top
damage
tower
like
is
that.
under attack.
Start forcing that top tier 2 tower. TP in, he gets the off of that. He's calling the axe. Forever now to be in trouble. Sunray is there. The Morph still fighting back for Forever is very, very tanky, but now the duel comes in. Ice Blast misses as well. Still it's from Grims. They burst down the Phoenix to Miracle. Gonna go after that Morphling. In your dream gets the chains off, and they will secure that. Van will continue trying to run away. In Your Dream doesn't appear to be quite done with him yet. Does perk that off. Change though. Now the Ancient Seal, it will have enough
Radiant's
damage.
bottom tower is under attack.
That T3 tower, if they want it, is a free tower to be taken. But they don't seem to really mind the tower. Just leave it for now. And somehow James ends up killing off Jocam.
Yeah, it's just he had to commit the Poison Nova to drop him low enough. Probably landed Gale as well, but
Dire's
it's a
top
pick off
tower is under attack.
for our Venomancer, and a lot of X pings from IYD. Not happy that they lost their AA. Still, T1 maintains that 5k lead. You're slowly building up. I think the
Radiant's
key
bottom
timing
tower
now
is
is
under attack.
Forev's pipe. Once it's up, just means that all of this damage coming out is negated from Cignal. They're just not going to be able to burst that axe fast enough. And as long as Forev is alive, or alive long enough, the damage is going to be good enough for T1 to clean up.
Signal, smoking up now. Paulson will scout that out from the team. The smoke really might lead to nothing. Yeah, Forever on the high ground, waiting to jump in if necessary as well. Jewel gonna be there on the Skyrat. Should be an easy Jewel victory.
Is under attack.
The side of T1 just kind of stuck around that mid lane looking for an opening. They could have backed down after seeing that smoke, but chose to stick around. And it's not the worst loss in the world losing that Skyrat, but you are giving more bonus damage over to that LC.
Yeah, it's a lot of damage on Van, already at 50 on the LT. Not a bad amount considering the start of Cignal. And Cignal, while that's not the biggest kill, they would really want to find more. They haven't quite revealed that blink on Eris. They just want to get a big team fight going, but they lose that moment, and this does allow
Radiant's
T1 to
middle
just
tower
kind of
is
clump
under
up.
attack.
Have to be a bit
Dire's
careful,
top
and
tower
Cignal
has
is
fallen.
still together as well.
Bishop gonna be down to Forever again. Nail does connect, but in the green double chains off. They're just delaying things for Miracle, who does have the B Fury and is going to that BKB, and now we're just running straight behind. James didn't realize he was there, and now gets dunked on.
What happened? Axe happened!
T1 will continue to dominate this game. 6k in a worth lead now. Into the Roshan pit, of course. Cignal also have probably no chance of stopping this, but they're going to try.
bit scary.
Ice Blast, Eris.
Oh no.
Oh boy.
He had the Blink Echo. They could have played around the pit, but gets caught out. And that's enough. They're not going to be able to contest. First road game will go to T1. And that just makes it a lot harder. Miracle is feeling so confident. You saw him circle at the back earlier on. They don't have enough to keep this Morphling in check. Abbat is making progress towards the Ags. Does have the Manta style as well to ensure his safety.
Fuel in your dream getting spawned out there. Doesn't double damage dances. Egg can be dropped as well in your dream. Will use up. The egg will finish soon. He does. Just son.
What did you
Very nice play there from in your dream.
Ooh.
That was just working out for him.
Yeah, really perfectly timed, and they know the egg's down. They smoke up. They can try to force this fight. Just have to be careful about the slam.
T1 feeling very confident. Going over to Cignal Ultra side. Bat is still trying to work towards that adding Inceptor on the Morphling. Smoke won't lead to anything. Cignal Ultra will be able to get back to their own jungle, the west side of the map, but now T1's going to slowly start chipping away at this tier 2 tower.
It's some time bought for Cignal, but at the same time, Miracle's flying out his BKB, so you know, there's really just no solution for the Ursa anymore. The magic damage coming out is not going to be remotely enough. I mean, on top of that, you've got the pipe from Forev anyway. So all of these tools are available now for T1. Cignal, they're really just playing the stall game. They want the Ags on Abbat. They've got the Shaker Morph. It just feels like it's not coming up fast enough.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
They don't really seem to have much of a game plan going on here. They're just trying to buy more time for a bat. So many counters to that Morphling that all this farm just may not matter. Forever has the pipe up now, so that poison over damage just does nothing.
Dire's structures are
T1
fortified.
gonna start forcing that bottom
Radiant
tier 2 tower.
structures are fortified. Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
They will do the same up at top lane. Cignal will push in the top tier 1.
Radiant's top
Not
tower
the fastest push in the world, but with that first the attack it will help. Veil Discord is also now up on policy.
Radiant's top tower has
Oh
fallen.
yeah, all the damage coming out from the sky is going to be amped up. I think a tier 1 for a tier 2 is not really a trade you'd consider at all. You slowly but surely start to lose control on the map, and since they forced to fortify, this means that if that T1 goes into the high ground, they don't have to worry about that.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Miracle gonna get started on that bottom tier 3. You're coming to defend now. That only one there at the moment. Miracle is not backing off, understanding that they're still down to that top lane or top lane.
Radiant's top tower
Waiting for
is
the next
under
creep
attack.
wave now.
The rune of invisibility.
Just keep going. They have to TV back to defend this. Like Van being there alone is not enough. They'll see
Dire's
Eris
middle
TP and
tower is under
that'll
attack.
be it. There is a double damage down at the bot lane for them to take. If they so wish, and it looks like In Your Dream is going to go ahead and bottle that one up.
Yeah, and while all of this time is just kind of being wasted, you see Miracle finishes up the Basher. So he can get the control out if he is given time to focus on the target. And Cignal still slipping away. This farm time is favoring
Dire's
T1
middle
massively.
tower is under attack.
They are just about 300 gold away from the Ags. Maybe that Ags on Abbat is going to be the turning point. Will the damage coming out from the Morph Shaker be enough? Possibly. Possibly is, but it's not a guarantee.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Does a bit of damage over that tier 2 mid, does back off again. Cignal Ultra stood, I believe they have finished off the Yags now on a bat, but it's... Is it gonna be enough?
I mean, it's good damage. Not sure if it's good enough, but I think they really have to depend on Eris. He just needs to get the slam. The cleanup is going to be super easy, but you have to get that initiation right.
It is mine.
Mid lane, but it's still the AA kills. No cam does go down.
Know your weakness.
Okay. But now that bonus
Not the best.
pushed again.
Yeah, not the best reveal of that Ags combo, and again, Miracle's just free to shove that tier 3 in. Oh, for him.
Trying to run out now. Mystic Square gonna get a lot of damage in off bad. He will end up dying. Egg being committed as well, probably gonna mean nothing though. Your dream does take the stun, now Sunray popping out, they keep trying to attack Totem in your dream. Getting caught out there.
For this, you
Bit of a silly position there in your dream, but that'll give Ultra a way to
Radiant's
defend, or maybe
middle
it
tower
won't.
is under attack.
Miracle was thinking about coming back in, but eventually does want to just walk out.
Yeah, it's a bit reckless of IYD to play around with the egg up there. Maybe he wasn't aware. Still, good punishment from Cignal. Forev did dunk the courier. So I keep forgetting you can actually target the courier with that, which is a bit silly. But he took out Jamesy's courier with dunk, so that's nice. That means the Culling Blade is on cooldown just for a bit. But if they do force this fight out from T1, no egg, no slam. Pretty big opening for them.
Nice telescope up now. Give that over to Holison, maybe? No, they might even give it over to the AA instead. What else are you really waiting for here for Cignal? Like, you've got the BKB now being worked on by a bat. It may do good enough, right? Because your main problems are the Ice Blast and the Ancient Seal of the Skyrack.
Dire's bottom tower is
But if you get caught out by that call,
bottom tower has fallen.
you're not going to have enough time to pop it off.
No. The Abyssal's up and running on Miracle as well, so again, all the control in the world onto the Ursa. Getting really tanky to deal with, and Cignal, they really just need initiation. They just need a slam to land. With the egg, it's just that the execution has been falling flat. It's almost the same story from game 1. They just needed to run their draft in a certain way. They couldn't achieve that. And T1's just slowly building up a bigger and bigger lead. You look at IYD, 2 parts away from the Ags on that Ember Spirit, and he can really start to kick it in about again. And he finds the kill, right? Like it's an AA. It is worth
Radiant's top
415,
tower is under attack.
so a significant amount actually from Jokam, but support AA is not it's not really an important target.
Yeah, misses the call there. Eris jumps in. Witch is flying out now. Bat does come and get Holison as well. They did lose Eris, but now a Phoenix is coming out. And Miracle will take care of the egg, but now a Bat right on top of him as well. He does pop his BKB, and he's just trying to TP out there. They have caught out in your dream with that fish shot. You will have 1 remnant left. Just get the chains off first, but Eris will commit the echo, trying to buy more time. In your dream, trying to juke this out the best he can. Will remnant off to itself, but Eris is already there. Now a bat does get the kill in T1. Taking what looks like a very, very bad team fight, and it doesn't work out for them.
Yeah, Cignal just managing to make the most of that mistake from Forev. It was really down to the fact that the call did not land. that Eris managed to jump in, get the control off, and that was enough. T1 has to be a bit more careful. I can get feeling confident like that, but they are bleeding some gold. Back to Cignal now. A bot is building up. Like, he finishes up his BKB from that fight. So your control now on T1 can be limited on that Morphling still. They can just go for the Roche very easy, and Jamesy.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
And
attack.
so they will secure the kill onto Jamesy once again. And you've got an Aegis available on that Ursa with the Abyssal Blade, and Miracle is trying to go after the Aghanim Scepter as well. T1 might take a bit more time to try and work towards that axe on the
Dire's
Ursa.
middle tower has fallen.
Yeah, I think if they stall that out for the Ags on their Ursa, you're going to have the Ags on IYD up and running as well. It's going to be key to have that additional mobility and potential damage coming out. You start to look at Forev, and this is the point where the Axe
Radiant's bottom
does
tower
start to
is
feel a
under
bit
attack.
less tanky until items fly in.
Radiant structures
He
are
is saving up for the BKB. That would be useful. I think you have to start considering the physical damage coming out here from Cignal. Van is starting to hit like a truck. So is Abad, of course. He has been with the Ag, so maybe something to counteract that. Maybe Lotus Orb really just to keep yourself safe there, although.
Lane Miracle trying to go for the Abyssal, doesn't quite get there, and Eris was out with the Visor anyway. This game of cat and mouse between these two teams. T1 is constantly trying to chase down Cignal Ultra, who just aren't quite interested in taking the fight. They are picking up the top lane. They want to go after Jamesy again.
Gets a bit tricky now. Does have the Aeon disc up and running, so there is a grace period for Jamesy. Can be a bit of a surprise for them if they do commit to the Veno anytime soon.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Did you take the bot T2 tower as well, Cignal Ultra? Still pings coming out on Jamesy, just trying to catch that Veno out, but Miracle has been kind of left alone here. He will leave that Dire jungle for a bit and go with his team again. Jewel's going to come out now to Sky and Fang. It's going to be another support kill on Polison.
Not even a contest.
And T1 just going to back out. Two connects now. They're going to catch Joe Cam. No, he gets the tape and now Abyssal Blade. Moving there on the rim. Miracle trying to go after Van. He does pop the blade mail. Egg's going to be there as well. They can't really take this team fight like this T1. They have to back up, and a bat ends up dying to In Your Dream. Just off the map. Now Jamesy has been left alone. Moran gets the call. Aeon is going to be there, but it will not matter. James will eventually die. Meanwhile, In Your Dream, still going now. He has his ads up. He will go after the LC. Then try to run away. Change what actually lost. Now Echo being committed by Eris. He will get the Aegis off Miracle, but this will cost him his life, I believe. Yeah, if he gets chained up, Miracle will get the bounty back on Eris.
Yeah, it's they do take the Aegis out. That's still a bit of a win, but again, you saw IYD's Ags. You've got Miracle's Ags to contend with as well, and Miracle still has the cheese. So there's still a lot of sustain. Miracle's just running up into the high ground trying to find someone, but should just go for the tier trees
Dire's middle tower
or
is under attack.
just go for a stroll. There you go.
T1. For it. Oh no, he actually got the call off. Jamesy was being pulled in, but they won't react quite fast enough. They do have the bot lane exposed. It's kind of interesting they go for the mid tier 3 instead. Of course, that's where the creep wave was anyway.
It's gonna be a bit of a slowdown. I think They probably want some mana in Jokam as well. He's pretty low, can only cast a couple of his spells. We haven't really seen the best Ice Blasts recently. You start to depend on that to mitigate the output of Cignal, so maybe give Jokam some time to just regen up before trying to force again. They are just going to take control of the high ground.
Constantly not going to connect. They don't really want to make the jump. They don't know where anywhere. They don't know where the other guys are. Cignal Ultra, they are smoke behind them. Bishop. He's getting burned fast. Back. He's not going down to Jokam. Miracle getting the stun off a bat. Oh! Does end up going down again, and now they are going to lose this LC. Echo is there from Eris, but is it not too late? Daisy getting a jump on as well.
Oh, no.
The egg out just one by one.
That's not it. That's not how you go in. Like, you find 2 kills, great. You lose the rest of your team. You lose a bot who unceremoniously just gets stunned down. And now T1, they could go for the exposed racks. They could transition to the mid. The creep wave is a bit behind, so you might see a couple of the respawns come out, but no egg, no slam. Still a massive opening for T1 to get that damage in.
They go. They have to go down first. T1, they will of course go ahead and finish both of those off.
Dire's bottom barracks.
No buyback being expended. They know that this Rax is definitely dead.
Dire's bottom barracks has fallen.
And Miracle again still has that cheese. He still has the cheese.
Try for the T3 tower.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
About 5 seconds to respawn, but the fire spirits do come out, and that'll be enough for them to just let that go. It's time to back off.
Yeah, I do like the item buildups coming out from T1. You look at IYD, he's going for an Aeon Disc. You look at Paulson, he's going for an Aeon Disc. You already have the Aeon Disc on Jokam. They're just preventing themselves from being bursted by a bat. They just don't want to be immediately blown up. Orfling, and I think if they can ride that out, they can apply their control. And that's what we're starting to see. There you go. 1 more Aeon Disc on the board for Paulson. So it's just IYD saving up for his. And I think that's going to be it. You're not going to see that in 4EV. Does build a BKB. But they do start to find those tier 4 items. Something like the Shaco on the Axe would be nice. It could be very nice for 4EV.
Could be. But bounties are more important. The Phoenix has had the bounty set on his head. Cignal. Still just kind of taking their half of the map. Double damage can be found out for a bat now, so it's a lot of damage on this Morphin. Backy. It's so ridiculous seeing that enchant totem double damage on Morph.
They've left a tier 4 item behind. Come on, pick it up, Eris.
Dire's top tower is under
No,
attack.
pick it up. No,
Oh, no.
no one wants the Havoc Hammer. That's nice. Yeah, it's pretty nice, right? Like, 18 strength is nice, and 30 damage, and a bit of a knockback's always good. Still, Miracle just ticks away at the tier 3s. I am just gonna stare at this Havoc Hammer every now and again if it stays in that ground.
They jump onto Fared. He's been communicated up. Roshan is going to be up. Of course, they do scout it out with the courier, so it's time for T1 to go back into that Roshan pit, secure that Aegis cheese, and the refresher shard was available as well.
Yeah, it's gonna be really nice to have. Not sure if you really want to get refreshed. In this case, it's all kind of even. I'd say maybe Paulson with the Ancient Seal is really good. Just having doubled silence is nice, but anyone can really pick it up. And
Jamesy, Aeon Disc going to pay off. He will be able to get out of there.
Radiant are scanning.
Yeah, just playing a bit of a waiting game here with T1. It's a matter of who wants to make the first move, and T1 will be the ones who have to do it.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
We're not going to waste any time. Let's start forcing down that tier 3 tower. Playing out now, they do try to go for the they have caught out the Asperate and end up going down, but a back goes down as well. Now Eris does commit a one-man effort. Miracle is going into the fountain, not the fountain, but the base. Eris ended up dying on the Earthshaker. Now he's something near Dream, trying to get them before they get towards that fountain. He does get Jamesy. At least the Aegis does end up dying. So Miracle won't have that secondary life. He does have the reverse shot up now.
Is under attack.
With the enemy scepter, mind you.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Nullify on the way as well. It is slowing down Miracle's attack so much. With his fine spirit. Gonna go to the duel there with the Sunlight. A lot of damage. Van will get the kill, but will die for it. Now in your Dream gonna jump in after Jamesy. And this is propped and well, looks like they do have enough to actually force back the side of T1. Dokkan gonna be in trouble. Should end up dying here on the AA. And will eventually. Eris will pick it up on the Earthshaker. No, Grimms gets it on the Phoenix.
Yeah, some pretty good punishment coming out from Cignal. They didn't have to expend too many buybacks for that as well. T1 just a bit reckless once more. Don't have buyback gold on Miracle, as he did buy out the Nullifier in the middle of that. So gonna have to wait for another opportunity to go high ground still. They maintain a 25k net worth lead. Slowly but surely chipping away on the high ground here from Cignal, and Cignal's options are starting to grow limited. You look at Abbat saving up for the Satanic. It's not going to be the fastest build up for him, but once that's up, of course, allows him to man fight, except you have to worry about a lot of
Even if they get the kill on Perez, you just keep letting your pause one die like this. Perez is going to BKB TP up. Oh, it's just not good.
Definitely not. That's I mean, he has no buyback because he just doesn't have gold. So T1, whatever space Cignal could have had from that defense is taken out. They can't farm on their biggest core. They can farm on everyone else. Van is trying to save up for the Heaven's Halberd. It's just that, well, he's not going to have buyback gold either way. You look at James, he does have the Ags up. More damage on that Nova, and it does have a lower cooldown. Issue is BKBs have been up, and again, that pipe is up and running as well. So the value of that Ags Poison Nova is, you know, it remains to be seen if it will really shift the tides here for Cignal.
Continue to just try and find a way onto that high ground. They've got a 28k net worth lead. It's kind of ridiculous how far ahead they are. Dota Plus is saying they have a 96% chance of winning this game. Now, high ground attempt again. Miracle going to start forcing in that tier 3 tower. We'll back off for a bit. Now call in from Fred. He's going to drag Aris over. Aris will fine. Maybe not. Not if you're drinking that.
Yeah, it's been a rough 2 games for him. Without that slam, it is a bit of an opening. Miracle's just been really conservative with high ground. I think without that Axe, Van.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm coming.
Right, they isolate Miracle. He does pop the cheese.
That he does. That is in trouble though. And does not find Miracle, and he will go down there. Eris comes with the Echo, but it is probably not going to be enough, as they have already lost that Morphling, and they're losing everything else to begin with as well. 3 heroes down with that buybacks on Cignal Ultra.
Dire's top barracks are
T1
under
gonna finish
attack.
off that top rats.
Yeah, they should just find all the racks. There's really nothing stopping them. No buybacks, no egg, no slam, no nothing. And I don't think the tier 4s are going to be defendable as well. There's really just not much to fear anymore.
Chains gonna come out of the Phoenix. He did get to the fountain beforehand.
Dire's middle
Mega
barracks
creeps
has fallen.
will be coming in, but
Dire's middle barracks are under attack.
no GG call is being made. They're gonna try and maybe fight this out one last time. In all fairness, they do push towers very, very slow on the side of T1 with the strong. It'll take a while, but they're gonna get started in tier 4s now.
Dire's middle
Dagon being brought up by In Your Dream for some reason.
Not enough damage.
He does have the refresher shot, so he can in theory Dagon twice. That's
Dire's
pretty cool.
structures are fortified.
They have to jump in. Jewel will be there on forever with the Sun Ray again. Eric's going to jump in as well. Trying to go after Grin. Miracle just happy to do with Eris, and now the Mystic Flare going to fall on Van, and Van is going to die as well.
Dire's
Your
middle
Dream refreshes. All remnants up, going into a bat, but he will BKB in time. And Miracle may actually die in the fountain and dance.
Oh, Miracle.
But the base is completely surrounded with creeps from the Radiant side. The bat is going to try, gets caught straight away. Now you have plenty of damage out. Brev will dunk on him. One last hit. It's not going to matter though, that will get destroyed as well. And the DV has been caught now by Cignal Ultra.
Yeah, T1.
The T1.
Yeah, T1 again continuing their win streak over Cignal Ultra. Cignal Ultra not quite breaking out of their slump here in the BTS Pro Series Season 2. Not a single win yet. So look to them to try to rectify that down the line. T1 slowly climbing up the ranks with their first